Welcome to Mind Over Matter, where inner wisdom meets practical transformation. Today, we are joined by Daphne Erhart, a doctor of psychology, world traveler, and founder of SoulSpa. With over 25 years of experience guiding people towards mental, emotional, and physical wellness, Daphne shows how mindfulness and meditation can unlock your potential and help you design a life that truly aligns with your authentic self. Welcome to the show. It's such an honor to have you.
Thank you so much for having me, Anya. It's an honor to be here.
Mhm. So, Dr. Daphne, how can meditation and mindfulness actually influence the way we shape our reality?
That is a deep and loaded question, and I love it. Mindfulness and meditation, how it actually shapes our life and reality. Um, you know, it's very interesting how we sometimes conceptualize mindfulness and meditation as separate, but our mind, our brain is part of our being, our physical being, and how we create our life. Like if you can think back to when you were a little girl or a little boy for the listeners, and you thought, when I grow up, I want to do blah, 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 blah. And what did you do? Did you take steps toward that? Did you change your mind? We literally create our lives, obviously given certain circumstances we're born into, but step by step we create what is our reality by micro and macro decisions throughout our day. So our decisions on what we're going to eat, what we're going to do, and then importantly, what we're going to focus our attention towards. So in the in the off times, or the times where we're not doing anything, it's not obvious what we are doing or presenting to the world, those are very important times. Those are the times when we are doing the behind the scenes work of our lives, what we're thinking about, what we're focusing on. Those little thoughts and choices matter. Does that make sense?
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
It's very beautiful and fascinating, actually. Yeah, isn't it? Yeah, I like that. We can do it for relaxation, going to sleep, being able to relax our minds and our bodies. But yeah, like you said, it's a beautiful tool. It's an amazing tool when you really think about it. It's easy to go around from moment to moment, day to day, year to year on autopilot. We watch TV and that puts in thoughts in our head, and it's very receptive and relaxing. But at the same time, and it's okay to do once in a while, you choose what you watch and everything. But when you really think about it, we are the creators of our life. We are at cause in our life. We're not just recipients and affected by everything. We actually create and cause our lives. I think it was Oprah. I could be wrong, so excuse me if I'm wrong, but there was somebody who interviewed two people, and they were siblings, I think it was. And one of them was extremely successful, and one of them was extremely upset about life, and like life has been unfair and upset and negative and angry. And one was grateful and happy, um, and she asked both of them, because the fascinating thing is that they both had the same exact upbringing. They lived in the same home, they had the same experiences, and they said, she asked both of them one by one, "Why are you like this? How did you become like this?" And they said, "Because of what I went through in my life. Because of all these things I went through, I became this." and how fascinating it was that they had their lives were actually like night and day to each other, but they created their life based on the story they made around what they went through. So maybe one person went through awful hell or whatever, and they were like, I will never repeat this cycle. I'm going to create what I want. They used it to propel them towards something else and to focus on the good and create good. And then the other one, this is an extreme example, of course. I might be, kind of filling in a little bit just to make a point. And then, you could also use the experiences that were negative to have an excuse. Like I went through this. Of course I'm like this. And of course there is some truth to everything. It's just what we decide. The narrative we decide to create in our life is extremely powerful. It could be easier said than done though. But it's kind of like wouldn't you say it's kind of like a muscle that it might be very difficult to focus on the positive, to focus on what you want and go forward towards it, and to what do you call it? It's kind of like going to a gym and lifting weights. The first day, it's going to be so hard if you've never done it before. But after a while, you'll start getting bulging butt muscles, and that 10-pound weight is not going to feel so difficult. And our brain is part of our body. We have neurotransmitters, and there's this thing called, if you don't mind, do you mind if I switch the subject to something that's a little
Yes,
bit
please.
relevant?
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah. So the brain has neurotransmitters, and there's this thing called neuroplasticity. This is a fascinating concept. Our brain is not just this blob that stays the way it is for the rest of our lives. Every single day, we put more information in it through our thoughts, through our experiences, through our habits, through deciding not to continue a habit. We create our thoughts, our brain functioning. So kind of like what I was saying in about the gym is how the brain works too. There will be pathways, neural pathways where, if the brain is used to triggering these pathways, and, you at this time every day, you start feeling a little sad because you're starting to think about this, and this spirals you into thinking about this, and then you feel this way and this way. That is a pathway. It's a habit. It's a habit in the brain. And it's hard. It can be very hard at first if you are changing these habits. If you've gone 50 years and you have a certain way the brain works, it's the easy pathway, it's going to go immediately and trigger all these pathways because that's all it knows. But if you go to the brain gym and you decide, no, I'm going to do this, I am going to think this way. Oh, how could this go right today instead of how could this go wrong? What if there was something I've never thought of? Trying new things, thinking new ways, it all helps with neuroplasticity.
Mhm. Yeah, and that's like a beautiful reminder. Adventure can be both internal and external.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah, internal and external. It's so our body and our minds are so fascinating and beautiful, don't you think?
Yeah, 100%. And
Yeah.
also, in your experience, how do
Mhm.
meditation and mindfulness help in overcoming professional and personal obstacles?
Oh, okay. Meditation and mindfulness can help overcome personal and professional obstacles um, in many ways. There have been studies done on the brain, and they found that upon waking up in the morning and upon falling asleep at night, the brain has the brain is in a certain wavelength. And you know, when you're stressed out and focused during the day, it has certain wavelengths. When you're asleep, it has certain wavelengths, and that in between time is very special. It's very special because it can have this power where you can be in charge of it. So, so to be able to say, hey, when I wake up in the morning, I'm going to focus on what my goal is for today, or I'm going to have gratitude. I'm going to write a note down, write something down to remind me, hey, this is the part where you input in your brain. They've done studies, and when you focus these times a day, first waking up and going to sleep, on in the morning, you could do two things. You can either have gratitude, or you can think about your goal for the day. Those two things have been shown to increase something called telomeres, which is the little, I'll just summarize and just say that it's something in your brain that they've done studies that the longer the telomeres, the longer life people have. So it literally can lengthen the telomeres, which lengthens your life. So meditation, mindfulness, that's a mindfulness exercise. Meditation is a thing you can do to have mindfulness, to practice meditation gives you a better ability to be mindful of what is coming through your brain and what you're going to let go of, what you're going to focus more on. So when you take 1 minute or 3 minutes or 5 minutes in the middle of your day, let's say you're having a really stressful time with a customer or a problem, and let's say you take a 3-minute break and you go into the bathroom stall and you listen to a short 1 minute, 3-minute meditation, and you get your brain waves back into that state where you're not in fight or flight, it can do wonders to your creativity, to your ability to handle stress. You make better decisions that way. You're able to switch off that old pattern in your brain and switch it to how you're choosing to go on with the rest of the day. It's like a little break in the middle. I'm actually creating an app right now that should come out next month that helps people do this. It helps people focus in the morning, let go at night of all the stresses so that you can have refreshing sleep and start new the next day. And it gives the people the opportunity to have these breaks during the day, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-minute break. It could be guided, it can be silent. This really helps you with personal or professional obstacles. Everyone has obstacles. That's how we grow in our lives. That's how we become, we learn, we become more intelligent, we become more powerful by overcoming these obstacles. Some are harder than others. And when we take a step back from it all, notice, this is what I'm doing. This is the pattern I'm thinking. This is how I always approach this, and it never works. What if I just take a few breaths, take a few moments, see the big picture, let my mind take a little break. When you go back, you're going to be more productive. You're going to feel better. You're going to have better health. You're going to be able to meet your goals better in life and be happier while you're doing it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And like practical application is key, making calm and focus accessible in the midst of chaos.
Yes, exactly. being the eye of the storm in the middle of chaos, in the middle of all that mm, metaphorical storm during your day with the the emergencies, the busyness, the chaos. Just because it's going on around us does not mean we have to buy into that. Have you ever been in a mall or an airport or on a busy street where there is maybe shouting or honking or just everything going on around you, and then all of a sudden realizing, oh, I'm feeling peace inside of me. Um, I've done retreats, so I do some travel retreats sometimes, and one of the things that we do is we meditate sometimes while doing some things that seem kind of chaotic. For example, we were on motorbikes going through the hills and the mountains in northern Vietnam, going through curves, and it was very exciting. We don't have to just meditate in a room with our eyes closed. We can be in a state of mindfulness while on the back of a motorbike. We can be in a state of mindfulness while crossing the street, walking quickly to work. We can be in a state of mindfulness in the hallways of our work, or while the baby is screaming, we can have that inner mindfulness and just, you know, the it's an awareness of it's a sense of awareness, and it's hard to explain at the moment, but I think you know what I mean.
Yeah. And if someone listening wants to start living more authentically, like today, what's the first mindful step they should take?
um there's so many mindful steps you could take if you decide, right this moment, I want to live more authentically, more mindfully. I love that you use the word authentic, because mindfulness is kind of coming back to your center, coming back to who you are deep down, because we're not necessarily everything that's going on around us. We are who we decide to be. So I would say, if you would like to just take one step this moment right now, um, close your eyes. Mm, Would it be okay if I do this for 1 minute for 60 seconds with them, Anya?
Yes, please.
Okay. So I would say, let's just do this right now, really quick. Take some deep breaths and exhale. When you exhale, your nervous system settles down. A lot of times when people say breathe, everyone inhales to get the air in, but what your body sometimes needs more is to, yes, getting fresh oxygen is great, but relax your body and exhale. So do that a few times right now with your eyes closed, and just let your awareness move towards any tension anywhere in your body, and let that relax. And let one word come to mind. One word that you would like to focus on for the rest of your day or night. It could be, for example, centeredness, or love, or peace, or being the eye of the storm. One word I like to use is wholeness. Wholeness, we are already whole. And as you breathe, just notice any thoughts or feelings that come up inside of you. Anything they are is okay. Acknowledge it. Your thoughts or feelings could be associated with your to-do list, what you need to get done today, It could be feelings, negative, positive, anything it is. There is no right or wrong. Just acknowledge it as though a cloud is floating by in the sky. And then you decide, do I want to keep this here or do I want to let it go? You may choose to acknowledge it and let it float on by. And then you keep acknowledging them until you come across one that you think, yes, I would like to nurture myself with this thought, and either remain with it for a little bit, make a bookmark for later, anything you want, or let it go and float on by. And just center yourself and recognize, no matter what's going on around me, I am whole. I am okay. Give yourself an internal hug, an acknowledgement, and thank yourself for taking this little break right now, today. And when you're ready, open your eyes and come back to this moment. And I'm going to have the app that's coming out will just lead you in doing this. It's going to be called SoulSpa, SoulSpa, and it'll just help you guide you through these little short breaks throughout the day in an easy way if you wanted help with it. So
That was amazing. Like, I did that and I think that was amazing.
good, I'm glad. Me too. I feel better too.
Yeah, it just calms you like instantly.
Yeah, it feels good.
Yeah.
Feels centered.
So thank you so much, Dr. Daphne, to remind us that our bodies are not just observers, they are architects of our reality. If today's conversation inspired you, start small. Meditate, reflect, and take one conscious action towards authenticity. Your life is waiting to be created mindfully, fully, and boldly.